everybody! Welcome back to the stream! Yeah! It's Friday, which means it's Functional Home Fitness, the day that we have fun doing weight training using found household items. Woo! Oh my goodness. I hope everybody is doing well, made it through another week. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, today's been rough for me. A lot of brain stuff going on, a lot of really hard processing stuff going on. But then I just spent the last hour or two just recording a song that's really speaking to me right now and trying my hand at editing a little bit and screaming at iMovie, which I think is probably a rite of passage. And I know that my partner, who's a filmmaker, is probably screaming at me for using iMovie, but it's all that I have. Yeah, and now I feel a little bit better. You know, not perfect, but it was nice to just sort of dig into some creativity and also dig into it in a way where I was not striving for perfect. I was striving for the emotions that I was trying to get out of my head, and that was it. And it's kind of freeing to do that. So I'm probably going to post that on my personal socials at some point, which will be nice. Woo, man, my hair. So that helped. That definitely helped a lot. And you know, anybody who struggles with brain stuff knows that it can be really useful to distract your brain from it. And that's not always easy to do. Easier said than done most of the time, but it worked this time, which was a relief. And I'm just gonna let that be what it is and use it as inspiration for more things that I want to do going forward. So, you know, that's not a bad end to a week. And I'm gonna have a pretty relaxing weekend, which is nice. Yeah, no major plans except for class, which is very rare. Usually I have D&D, but no D&D this week. So I'll actually get some time to myself, I think. Ooh, that's exciting. But yeah, so I hope everybody else is doing really well. Thank you to everybody who hopped over to Eileen's stream on Wednesday, her Extra Life stream, and you know, she ended up hosting this stream on her channel, which was really wonderful. We had our most viewers ever, which was very exciting. But she ended up raising well over her goal. Her goal was $750, and I think last time I looked, she was rounding in on 1,000, which is just so exciting. And today's her birthday, so what a great birthday present to be able to donate money to such great causes. Because of course she was matching donations and sending her match money to the Okra Project and the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. So just really wonderful, feeling good, a good birthday present for her, and a really wonderful thing for all of us to be able to do. So yay! But today's strength training, I hope that it was clear on the post that we're gonna use a wider swath of things going forward, not just single items. So I have sort of set up for myself, I've got my laundry detergent there, got a backpack, I've got some other books over there, and so I just have, you know, a few things that I can use for these exercises. And so hopefully you have a similar plethora of possible items. My caveat, as always, before we start this class, please remember we're doing free weight training without items that are designed to be free weights, which means that it is not possible to clearly understand how much we're loading ourselves in the way that we can when we're in the gym and we're looking at the amount of weight written on the dumbbell or the kettlebell. So err on the side of caution. If you are using an item that you have never used before, don't load it up to be super heavy before you've tested it out, Make sure that you are aiming the amount of weight that you're using. If you're doing double arm exercises, the amount of weight that you're using should be aimed at the capacity of your weaker side, not your stronger side, so that you're not overloading your weaker side and setting yourself up for injury. And like I said, err on the side of caution when you begin. And then if it's too light, you can add, but add slowly, add smartly. Don't just go trying to muscle your way through something. As always, we like form and we like not setting ourselves up for injury. So that is my caveat. Pre-class checklist. Hey, everybody got their water bottle? I've just got such a really interesting spackling of sunlight on me right now. Everybody's got their comfy clothes, their mat, which you've already seen behind me. And if you are using a fitness wearable, now's the time to turn it on. We are doing strength training today, so we do not need high intensity interval training today. As much as we love you, we're not here for you today. All right, and now we're gonna do our warm-up, as we always do. Wow, why did I suddenly get a headache? Oh, friends, bodies are weird. Bodies are strange things, and we know that. And, you know, we're here to keep our bodies as healthy as we can, but they're always going to be strange entities, I think, at the end of the day. But that will not stop us from coming over to our mats and getting ourselves set up for our warm-up. All right, so on your mats, on your back, 1 foot crossed over the opposite knee. And no, I don't need a category. Shoot. Oh my God. Ultra Timer is very good at doing exactly what it's supposed to do. But anytime that you accidentally touch anything you didn't mean to touch, man, does it take a while to figure out where you're supposed to go. Hey, ooh, that was loud. Well, that's probably good for you guys to be able to hear the timer. I really do hope that the sound of the timer comes through pretty well on the speakers, and I'm going to be, you know, making some investments in equipment so that we can have better audio, better lighting, better camera availability for these streams, so that they're just a little easier to see, and hopefully you're getting an enjoyable class experience out of them. But today, we've just got our same old setup, and you know what? This setup has worked really well for us for the last few months. My God, I've been doing this since March, and it's almost August, so June, July. I've been doing this for like 4 months now. All right, switch feet, which is just crazy to me. Like, COVID was just getting on our radars in January, and March is when everything sort of hit the fan, in America anyway, and we all, you know, everything shut down. And the whole reason that I started this channel in the first place was because the gym that I had been teaching in-person classes at got closed down for quarantine, obviously. And, you know, I still have this sensation that was only like a month or two ago, but it's been 4 months. Over 4 months. We're going on 5 months at this point. All right, time for our Jane Fondas. And that's just kind of mind-blowing when you stop to think about that at all and just go, holy crap, this has been going on for a while. And that's sad and scary and awful, but the good part of it is that this stream, this channel has been going on for a while too, and that's so exciting. And I've just been loving doing these streams so much. So, you know, we win some, we lose some, I guess. Oh my God. But it is kind of wild. When I think of where I was mentally, physically, and emotionally back in March, when I started these streams and where I am today. It's just, so much has happened that I don't think I ever could have predicted. And, you know, in all senses of the word, like good things and bad things and everything in between. And it's just been such a strange time to be navigating both just the intensity of what's happening in the world right now on so many fronts. You know, the fight for democracy in America and all of this work that we are doing or not doing to stem the tide of COVID and all of this stuff, all these huge world-shaking events combined with just my personal world-shaking events. And that can be an easy thing to sort of lose track of when there are so many globally world-shaking events. It can feel strange to be so caught up in your own personal world-shaking events. But you know what? Those don't stop just because we are in the middle of a pandemic. You know, we didn't stop having world-shaking events, personal world-shaking events, just because of COVID or Trump or anything else. And, you know, it has been an intense time trying to navigate all of that for me, and I'm sure for many of you out there, because we're all dealing with the same overarching stuff and then our own personal stuff, and everything just feels so heightened these days. All right, switching to our second side for leg work. Everything feels so heightened, and it can just be really hard to keep ourselves together. But, you know, every week, 4 days a week, I turn on Streamlabs OBS and I get in front of this camera and I start talking to you for an hour, leading you through workouts, leading myself through workouts, and just that has been, you know, such a life-saving routine for me to get to build. And, you know, it has really revolutionized my own personal fitness. I was talking about this with my mom last night, I think. You know, when you're teaching in person, or at least when I was teaching in person, I did not do class along with my students. You know, and part of that was because I wanted to be able to watch people more closely and make sure that I was helping them on their form, because that's obviously a huge component of what a teacher is supposed to do, and that's important, and I don't dismiss that. I had very good reasons for not doing class along with people. Also, I'm nearsighted and I don't exercise with glasses on, but I teach with glasses on, so it just would be a lot of hassle. But it did mean that suddenly the class that I had previously been taking, I was now teaching, and so I wasn't taking that class anymore, and didn't really replace that exercise in my weekly schedule. And so, you know, my own personal fitness basically plateaued for a while. I mean, I was teaching those in-person classes for almost a year before the BRC shut down because of COVID. And they're open again. By the way, just because I'm furloughed doesn't mean they're not open. So if you live in the Boulder area and are looking to get some rock climbing in, they're open. They have a lot of safety protocols in place. So if that's something you want to check out, see what their protocols are, see if you feel comfortable heading in there. They are open. People, I think they ask for reservations. Obviously, masks are required. There's appropriate distance between routes in the gym currently. So please do, if you are looking for some indoor climbing, show them some love, because it's a crazy time to be a rock gym right now, that's for sure. But yeah, so when I had been teaching for almost a year and not really exercising a ton, and you know, I wasn't unfit, because I was still doing some stuff, but not nearly as much as I had been, and so but I didn't really realize that until I started teaching these streams. And you know, I don't really have the option of sitting back in the same way for these streams, because I need to be demonstrating so that I know that you know what the exercises look like. And that also requires being able to do exercises while talking away a mile a minute, because that's how this goes. And yeah, so just the impact that this has had for me personally has really been life-changing in a lot of ways. And I truly am so grateful to this community for helping me to really turn a new corner on my own fitness journey. And I really hope that I am always able to help do the same for you, because that is ultimately my goal, is to get you going on your own personal fitness journey and get us all together having fun, challenging ourselves, and just keeping fit. All right. Oh my goodness. Moving right along through the warm-up. Oh my goodness, we're already at squats. That's crazy. Remember, you want those knees going straight over the feet and not caving in towards one another. If you're not able to maintain that, narrow your stance a little bit until you hit a stance where you are able to maintain that. And then we'll go from there. And then as you get stronger in the squats, then you can test, okay, let's see if I can widen the stance again and keep that same safe position each time that I squat down, okay? So always pay attention to what your body can do and what you want your body to be able to do eventually. Alrighty. Here we go. Man, I am looking forward to this weekend because I'm hoping to get in a nice bike ride or two. I finally, my bike has been living in the garage of some friends of mine since March, because I had ridden it over there one night for a gathering, and didn't feel like riding it home when the gathering was done, and so drove home, and was like, oh, you know, I'll just go back and get that. And then, of course, quarantines happened, and suddenly I wasn't going over to their house at all for any reason. So my bike basically lived in their garage until 2 weeks ago, maybe, something like that. So that is, but now I have it back, and man, I had forgotten just how wonderful that machine is for riding. And they've done a lot of construction in our area. There's this huge bike trail that goes from Boulder to Longmont, but there's a big section of it here that was not finished off, so you just sort of had to, you know, make your way as best as you could along along the roads, and they have finally added more multi-use path, and it's really nice. The thing that I do truly appreciate about living in Boulder is the fact that this area is so committed to creating safe cycling pathways and pedestrian pathways all over town so that biking and walking are viable forms of transport and not just, you know, things that you do when you have no other choice. You know, I was a bike commuter in Providence, Rhode Island for a couple of years. And I mean, basically every time you get on the bike there, you are taking your life into your hands and, you know, making a deal with the god of death, saying not today, because, oh boy, those drivers, they do not care. They do not care even a little bit. Ooh, there's just so much stuff behind me. You don't realize how much room kick-throughs actually take until you're trying to do them with a stack of books and a backpack and a container of laundry detergent. Oh man, this poor mat. I don't even remember where I got this yoga mat from. It's old. I mean, it's fine. It serves its purpose well enough, but it definitely is getting uncomfortably stretchy in a non-useful way, and I'm probably gonna have to replace it at some point. I don't go out buying super expensive yoga mats, that's for sure. You know, this I probably got it at Target, honestly, and it has lasted me for years. And it's still, you know, it's still fine. It's not started shedding like the mat I use under the puzzle pieces, which I can't really use as a yoga mat anymore because it's just shedding little yoga mat particulates all over the place. And that's not necessarily pleasant, but you know, this one here has lasted for a good long while and has done everything I needed it to do. Oh, good job, my friends. We have made it through the warm-up. Scooch, scooch. All right, let's grab some water while I talk about the structure for our strength training today. Oh yeah, water good. All right, so today it's going to be the same setup as usual. So we'll have a timer going and a set number of reps, or a set range of reps. Once you've finished all of the reps that you're doing in that range, then you use the rest of the timer as rest. Then there'll be knock, knock, knock to tell you to prep for the next exercise, and then you'll move into that. So the rest is built in to the timer that you're using for each exercise. Previously, we've done 3-minute timers. Today, we're gonna do 2-minute timers. So I'm chopping an entire minute off of the timer, okay? And we're gonna have 4 exercises, and we are going to do them, we're gonna go through them 4 times, okay? So that'll take us right up to the end of class. So our 4 exercises, and again, we are being creative. We're doing creative weightlifting. So the first thing we're doing is lateral raises. This is a shoulder exercise. anytime you do a shoulder exercise with free weights, really be conservative about the amount of weight, okay? So again, that just ties into what I was talking about earlier. So you grab a couple of entries from the Expanse series by James S. A. Corey, and just, these two are mostly the same. So we are gonna have, I'm using books for this one because generally they will be a lighter amount of weight, which is what I want for this. And we're just gonna be lifting them up until our arms are parallel to the ground and then down. And we're just, so we've got we're standing in a nice stable position, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, okay? So that's first exercise. Second exercise, I would recommend laundry, detergent bottle, or a backpack. Something that has a handle like this, okay? So this is gonna be a lunge with a pass through. So I'm gonna step forward into a lunge, double-legged lunge. And I'm gonna pass this through underneath my leg. And then I'm going to switch and pass through again, okay? So I'm just going back and forth, going down, through, push back, down, through, push back, down, through, push back, down, through, push back. So you want something with a top handle like that, so you can easily move it from hand to hand. And really make sure you're engaging your core so that you're not getting super pulled over by whatever you're using, okay? Third exercise is going to be bicep curls. So again, you want something with a handle. We are going to be doing alternating arms. So since we're going through the exercises 4 times each, we'll start with bicep curls on one arm. Next time we come to them, we'll do them on the other arm, and then back, okay? So we're just gonna have whatever this handled thing is, standing nice and stable, curl up and down, and up and down, and then when we get back around to it, we'll just do the same thing on the other side. So we're just doing a single arm for each timer. So you need to make sure that you remember which arm you did last so that you are able to do that arm again, okay? And then our last thing is going to be goblet front lunges. Ooh, it's a little sticky on the front of that, almost like it's a laundry detergent bottle. You can do this with a backpack, holding it by the sides like that. You can do it with a laundry detergent bottle that's hopefully not getting soap on your hands, holding it by the sides. If you have some big ass books, you can hold them, and then we are just going to be holding the weight here in front of us, and again, lunge down, push up, lunge down, push up, lunge down, push up. So for any of these lunge exercises where we're alternating legs, you want to do an even number of reps, obviously. So the range that I'm giving you, and you have to figure out where you are in it, and that is going to require you to assess your current position, between 15 and 30 reps. Remember that we only have a 2-minute timer, and you want to be able to use some of that timer for rest and getting water and shaking out a little bit. So choose wisely. I'll holler out when a minute is done with the timer, and then when you hear the knock, 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 remember that that is your cue to get set up for the next exercise, because the timer will go off again, okay? All right, so we've got our exercises. We've got lateral raises, we've got lunges, with the pass through, we've got our bicep curls, and we've got goblet squats. So make sure you know what item you are going to be using for each of these, and get yourself over to your mats. And as soon as you hear that horn, we will start with the lateral raises. So get ready, get set. Nice stable position. Hey, and we are doing the lateral raises. I don't want you trying to raise the weights up above parallel, okay? So really we're just raising them up to parallel and then letting them come down. In terms of your stable base, I'm just standing here letting my feet be somewhere between hip and shoulder width apart. I've got my glutes engaged, I've got my core engaged, so that nothing, my entire trunk is like a tree, okay? It is staying totally stable so that the only things that are moving are my arms as I go up and down and up and down, okay? So that is where we are. And again, you want to be a little more conservative for the amount of weight for lateral raises, just because of the nature of this exercise. It is a shoulder focused exercise, and man, do you not want to end up with a shoulder injury, my friends. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, not fun, not pretty. All right, so we have about 40 seconds left in this timer, so hopefully you've gotten to the end of your reps and you're grabbing a little water, shaking out a little bit, reminding yourself, okay, what's the next exercise that we're doing? That's right, we're doing lunges with the pass-through. So what piece of equipment am I going to do for that? I'll do this top handle laundry detergent bottle. I'm going to be able to weightlift with this for a while. It is so heavy. All right, ready? And man, cock blocking me. All right, so lunge, pass through under your leg, push back to that standing position. Really make sure your core is engaged, all right? So that you are controlling your back. It's not getting pulled forward. You don't want your back to be pulled forward by the weight. You're gonna have to lean over a little bit to pass the weight under your leg, but you don't want it to be, jerked down to the ground. That is, again, how we end up injuring ourselves. So making sure that that core is engaged is a good way to make sure that your back is not going to get wrenched into a position that it does not intend to go to, okay? So that's one of those big things. Other things to think about when we're doing this or when we're doing the goblet lunges. So it's a double bent leg lunge. I don't want this knee, this forward knee, pushing forward super past my toes, okay? So I need to be able to gauge how far I have to step forward so that I can get both legs bent, but this knee is still at or behind my toes, okay? So that takes practice, and maybe as you're practicing that, you use a lighter amount of weight so that you can really focus on how far do I need to step, and getting that to be a feeling that your body just knows so that you don't have to keep consciously thinking about it. All right, get ready for our bicep curls. First side, okay? Hey, so I'm using a backpack for this because it's just the easiest item. Most backpacks have, a handle up at the top, and it's so easy to load for your strength, okay? So, because I basically just put a bunch of books in here, and if I'm going, ooh, this feels a little too heavy, well then I can take some books out, So it is definitely the easiest item to manipulate the weight of. And that's really useful because, again, we're doing all of this without knowing the exact amounts of weight that we're using. And that, you know, that causes its own issues because we don't really know how much we're loading ourselves, which is why you need to really be paying attention. We need to focus in on form. We always need to focus in on form, but particularly today, you need to make sure that you know what the correct form is and that you notice when you are going to lose it, okay? You notice when your arms are feeling fatigued enough that, oh, this is going to start like pulling me forward, or, oh, in order to get my arm up, I feel like I have to sort of, like, you know, like I'm reeling in a fish or something, and then I'm throwing my hips and my torso out of whack and all that stuff. So you need to be able to notice that and stop it before you start doing the exercise incorrectly, okay? Because what do we talk about? I would rather you do just 2 reps and do them correctly than do 20 reps with incorrect form and set yourself up for an injury down the line, okay? So always focus on form first, and then once you know that you have the form down, then you can start to talk about, okay, how do I want to challenge myself? What do I want to do? Do I want to increase weight? Do I want to increase reps? Do I want to decrease my rest time? Which is what we're doing today, okay? You know, we have been doing this with 3-minute timers. So generally, even if you're doing the full 30 reps, you probably have at least a minute of rest. Today we're only doing 2-minute timers. So, you know, you could still have a minute of rest if you're able to get all of your reps done in 1 minute, or you may only have 30 seconds of rest. So these are the components that we play around with to figure out how to improve our performance. And certain components may be more appropriate to fiddle with than others at different times, you know? If you're coming back from an injury, you probably don't want to be focusing on upping the amount of weight. Maybe start with upping the amount of reps, okay? And then maybe reducing your rest time. Hey, we're coming right back around. My friends, we are back once more to our lateral raises. Oh my goodness, this is our second time through, second out of 4. So make sure that you are paying attention to your form. Remember, we want our form to be just as good on our 4th run through as it is on our first run through, or as it was, since our first run through is obviously over with at this point. So make sure that you are paying attention to your form. All right. Whew. Sometimes it can be really disconcerting to have the camera up because it's not as good as a mirror, you know. Dance training, generally dance studios have big mirrors in them, and they're really useful for being able to life-size see what I'm doing and what I need to improve on. Trying to do the same for myself with tiny little webcam at the far end of my living room is not nearly as effective. So I'm like, hey, what is that? Which arm's going too high? I can't quite tell. Where am I? So if you see me sort of awkwardly fiddling, it's because I'm trying to use this tool that's at my disposal, but it's very far away. Oh my gosh, I finally have my glasses appointment on Thursday. I am so excited to finally get a new prescription so that I can get myself some new glasses. Oh, it's going to be such a relief to no longer have these glasses that are, coming around on a decade old and are literally being held together with glue and a wing and a prayer. And oh my goodness, I am really excited. So if any of you are glasses wearers and have used some of those online shops for ordering frames and lenses, that's my plan. Just because ordering glasses is so expensive, and anything that I can do to ramp the cost down, I want to do. So any recommendations are very welcome. I've got a couple of recommendations I've gotten already, but I'm completely agnostic right now because I've never ordered glasses online. Because I only order glasses generally when I have health insurance, which is why these are still being held on by a wing and a prayer, because that was the last time that I had insurance and needed new glasses. So yeah, any recommendations, very, very welcome. Otherwise, you'll start seeing brand new glasses in the videos. Maybe multiple pairs. Maybe I will become one of those people who has a different pair of glasses for every day of the week or for every outfit or something. All right, we're coming back to bicep curls. Remember, we are on our second arm, okay? So make sure that you are not curling on the same arm that you did previously, okay? And we got that nice stable position. So glutes engaged, core engaged, so that we're not letting our body wiggle around as we bring our bag up, okay? And as soon as you start to feel that, oh man, that's feeling a little heavy, if that's feeling maybe too heavy, then you have not yet pitched the weight for your weaker side, because you've just found your weaker side, okay? My weaker side, as you know, for arms anyway, is my left side, because that's the side that has my shoulder injury. So I need to be particularly careful, because that's how I got the injury in the first place, was trying to pitch my weight for what my right arm could do. And I had stuff going on for a while. Nothing as consistent as it has become, but it had always had something happening in it. And I was doing Turkish get-ups in a weight class, and if you don't know the exercise, suffice to say, it involves holding a kettlebell above your head while you go from lying on the ground to up on one knee to standing, and then going all the way down to, and you're just literally holding this kettlebell above your head the whole time. And I used weight that my right arm could do, but I used it on my left arm, and my left arm went, oh no, and lost control of the weight for just long enough, and then tried to snap control back, and that really exacerbated the issue. So, I thankfully it is better. It is better. I was, before everything. I was doing a lot of chiropractic for it, and I had a PT regimen, and all that stuff. So, you know, it's definitely better and stronger than it was, but I can still feel the difference. There's still definitely something going on in there. So I always have to pay attention to it and to go, okay, I need to make sure that I'm working off of what my left arm and left shoulder can do and not off of what my right arm and shoulder can do. And maybe that means that I'm not able to like pump up my right arm as much as I could, but I don't want to pump up one arm without the other anyway. And I very much do not want to end up with another shoulder injury where I'm worried that something is seriously wrong. I have too many friends who, I have two friends who have had to have shoulder surgery just in the last month, I think. So yeah, shoulder injuries, not fun, my friends. Do everything that you can to avoid them as we come back around to our third run through. Here come lateral raises once more. Nice, stable position. And here we are. Yeah, there we go. So we're coming through. How are you doing on that weight? Have you been using the same amount of weight each time we've done this? Have you decided that you were going a little too heavy initially and downsized? Have you decided that you needed more weight? You know, that's the nice thing about getting to go through these exercises 4 times. You know, we're not able to use kettlebells and dumbbells and have the specificity of the weight, but because we're going through 4 times, that means that we can take each time and go, okay, last time I didn't quite feel like I was using enough weight, so I'm gonna try and up it this time for a little bit more weight, see how that goes. Or, oh, you know, that last time I really, by the end of it, felt like I was struggling to hang on to the correct form, so I'm gonna stick with that amount of weight, or maybe even downgrade a little bit. Remember too, when we're doing books, you can also, you know, depending on the width of the book, you can hold multiple books in your hands. Just be careful, make sure that you have a firm grip. Again, we're doing weightlifting with equipment that is not designed for weightlifting. We are doing this to demonstrate that you can and should be creative in what you use for your weight training, especially since a lot of us don't feel comfortable going to gyms right now. But it also means that you need to use an extra level of caution, okay? Yay, caution. Caution helps us to not injure ourselves. All right, third time for our lunges with the pass-through. All right, are you still engaging your core, my friends? Ooh, that's feeling a little heavy actually for my knee, interestingly enough. So I'm going to shift over to maybe using a book. It'll be interesting. See how, oh, actually, that works remarkably well. Hey, so for the lunges with the pass-through, you can also use a book. If you have one, this is a pretty long book, so it's easier for me to pass it under my leg. So make sure that you're not, you know, using a super tiny book and then causing yourself to have to jerk around. Sorry, just closing the windows a little bit. The sunlight's just continuing to ramp up as it does. Oh, man, I am excited to get back to pants weather. Back in the beginning of March, right before everything shut down, my mom was able to come through on a visit, and we went clothes shopping, and I got like 3 new pairs of pants, which I hadn't done in ages, and I was just so excited. And then of course, it almost immediately, everything shut down, so we weren't going anywhere. And then the weather, got hotter, so now it wasn't pants weather anymore. All right, go back to that first arm for your bicep curls. Get ready, get set, hey. And so I am very excited to be coming back through towards the fall, knowing that I'll get to wear my pants and my funky boots and my leather jacket and just have a lot of fun. Because I think my favorite seasons are the transition seasons, because they are warm enough that you don't need to go in a full snow kit, but they are cool enough that you can have fun with jackets and with pants and with boots and not feel completely overheated when you're doing them. So yay. All of you who are with me on the beauty of fall, just give me a cheer. Give me a cheer. Look at that. Somebody has written in the chat. Herg. Yes, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. There are rules because we do have pants. But that was a hilarious joke if you are a fan of Loading Ready Run, Canada's premier internet sketch comedy troupe. If you have never heard of them, then you probably have no idea what we're talking about. But I assure you it was very funny. All right. Woo! Yeah, feeling that bicep. And coming back around. You're going to hear that knocking in just a second. Yep, so getting ourselves prepped and ready for goblet lunges. Doing a lot of lunges today. Boy, howdy. Now, hopefully you're remembering to do an even number of reps for these alternating exercises. So you're not just doing, 15 reps and leaving one of your legs hanging for that last one. Make sure that you are alternating and doing an even number. Make sure that you are, again, engaging that core, okay? You want to bring your torso with you in a straight line, okay? Not letting it fall over, follow the weight. It's the same thing as with our lunge with the pass-through, okay? Basically, I am constantly reminding you to engage your core. We like nice, strong cores, stabilizing, helping us to manage and control all of the moving parts of our body, so that when we are doing work like this with heavy outside forces, aka free weights, we are making sure to control our movement and not let the outside force, aka the weight, control us. Because again, what does that lead to? Injury. I was never a cheerleader, and now you can see why. Oh my goodness. However, I am going to cheerlead you to drink some water. And then get really excited, because in just a few seconds, you will hear that knocking sound, and then that means that we are heading into our final run through these exercises. So here's our last time for lateral raises. Yeah. So again, where's our form? We want it to be just as good as it was in our first run. We are in our 4th run now, so we probably are experiencing a little more muscle fatigue than we were, maybe getting tired a little more quickly than we had been. Pay attention to the number of reps you're doing.
Have you had to downshift that number as time has gone on? Did you start, our first interval with 30 reps and then had to get progressively fewer and fewer? Okay, pay attention to that. Pay attention to that, and then next time around, try to find an average. Try to find, not an average, median? It's been a while since I've taken math. Try and find a midpoint that you can do consistently for all 4 sets, okay? So if, on your first time through today, you did 30 reps, and on your 4th time through, you did 15 reps, next time we do this, try doing 20 or 25 reps and try to keep that consistently each time, okay? And that, use that as a marker for where you are. And then as you get stronger, you can try and add in a few more reps. But you want to be, if you're not adding additional weight on each time, then you want to remain consistent with the number of reps that you're doing. And we're not here adding a bunch of weight on each time that we do this. So, I don't want, we're not going for like a 1 repetition max. Oh God, I can't do this with a backpack. We're not going for a 1 repetition max and just trying to do one rep with a huge amount of weight on it. We're keeping probably about the same amount of weight for each set that we've done today. So that means that you want a number of reps that you can do each time. So these are the things for you to think about as you design your own workout programs outside of class, or if your workout program is attending class, thank you very much, hi, wonderful to have you here, then make sure that you're paying attention to these for class, okay? Because, I am unfortunately not able to be inside of everyone's living rooms as we do this. As soon as I figure out holographic technology, we can work on that. But right now, I am here on your screen. And that means that I'm counting on you to really take in a lot of this information about how to safely load and increase your challenges, about how to take care of yourself while you're exercising so that you're minimizing your chance of injury. And I'm counting on you to implement that, okay? Because I want to be working out with you for a long time. That's the goal. That's my goal anyway, and I hope it's yours too. All right, we are coming back around. So that was our last time for lunges with the pass-through. Now we're coming back to our last bicep curls. Make sure you are going back, you're ending on that second side, okay? So we have evened out our arms. I apologize if you can hear the movie playing through the walls. This apartment complex is really odd. It is, it has good soundproofing, except when it doesn't. That's really the best way I can describe that. So like, when I close the windows, I cannot hear anything happening outside, or almost anything. Like, it's really amazing how effective that is. And I don't usually hear conversations or movies or what have you through the walls, except for the times when I do. And when I do, it's like, the bass is just rattling through the walls. And, we're all home a lot more than we usually are, obviously, and I'm sure that all of my neighbors think that I'm kind of nuts for all the times when I run these classes. So, it's not a complaint, it's just sort of fascinating when I go, oh, someone's watching Lord of the Rings for the 5 millionth time. All right, whatever floats your boat. I mean, great movie, but I don't necessarily need to watch it every month. That's a lot of Lord of the Rings. How's everybody's biceps feeling? Yeah. Always nice to find it. You know, every once in a while, everybody should find a mirror and just flex for themselves and just go, man, that is some impressive muscle that I'm developing. It is really, really important for us as we head into our final round of goblet squats. It is important for us to learn how to take pride in our body's achievements. Like, when you think about it, our bodies are just kind of miraculous. You know, when I was studying for my personal trainer certification, just the amount of things that have to happen just for one muscle fiber to contract. It's you start to go, it's kind of a miracle that we can move at all, because there are just so many things that have to happen. And the fact that you are able not only to move at all, but to move while holding these heavy weights and to run long distances and to be able to, you know, do this entire class without stopping, or do perpetual motion on Tuesdays. Like, we can be very bad at recognizing our own achievements, and our achievements in fitness are no exception. And part of that, of course, comes down to the way that that our society rewards different activities and different body types differently, and you know, we end up in these places where we feel like if we are not meeting a really specific, really narrow physical standard, that our bodies are not worthwhile, and it's ridiculous, and it sucks. And so what I want you to do, your homework, as we come to the end of this class today, your homework is to find one thing that your body can do that you are really proud and excited about. And to do that thing, you know, do it in a mirror if you want to. Like, I've really been enjoying just sort of flexing my arms and seeing all this muscle that I have that I didn't have for a long time. And just go, yeah, I'm fucking awesome, okay? Because, yeah, we don't do enough of that, and we should do more. We're going to stretch, but hang on, my chat's blowing up. Oh yeah, any video of a Boston Dynamics robot trying to balance upright. It's insane. Like, yeah, there's a reason why it'll be a while before, you know, Terminators exist, because movement is not a simple process. All right, my friends, let's just gather on our mats. We're gonna focus on our arms. Maybe a little bit of leg stretching, a little bit of standing leg stretching, I think. We're not gonna go to the floor today, but let's swing our arms back and forth, just sort of, you know, I'm not really controlling it. I'm letting momentum do most of the work. And now I'm gonna take one arm out to the side and then cross it over my body. Take the other hand, hold right above the elbow, and just pull this arm into my chest. So I feel a bit of a stretch along my triceps. How much of a stretch is gonna depend on your flexibility, on how hard you worked that particular arm. You will probably have one arm that you're like, oh, I sort of feel this, and one arm that you're like, oh, I feel this. All right, so we're just holding here. Take a few deep breaths, not our big traditional deep breaths. And I've literally flattened the arm. There you see, it's completely flat against my body. And that's what I have to do to get the stretch. All right, and now release the arm, shaking back and forth. Now take that other arm, same thing. Ooh, yeah. Yep, and see this side. I feel that stretch much more intensely and quickly than I did on the first side. And again,
That makes sense because this is my weaker side. So really enjoy that stretch. Pull it in. Oh yeah. And now shake it out. Shake it off. Shake it off. All right. Now I want you to knit your hands, your fingers together behind your back and just let yourself come forward and bring the arms, let the arms sort of hang over. Gravity is taking control. And I'm just sort of stretching out in the shoulder socket there a little bit. Again, some nice breaths. Oh yeah, that feels nice. Roll back up, let that all come out. Let's do a calf stretch up against a wall. I will use an imaginary wall because I don't have a wall easily to hand. But you want to have your leg out behind you straight, and you want that heel to get all the way down to the ground. That's how you're going to get the stretch in your calf. So a wall can help to push back to give a little bit of added force to get that heel down. Okay, I'm able to do it without the wall, but if you don't have that flexibility, a wall can be really useful. Just really nice deep breaths. I'm keeping my torso straight. I'm not really doing anything funky with anything else. And then let's go to the other side. And again, you may be able to go farther back on one side than the other, or you may be about even. Make sure that your hips are staying flat forward. We're not trying to open them up in either direction. So again, just like with the Sanson stretches at the beginning of class, you have headlights on your pelvic bones and they are running forward. They're shining forward at all times, okay? All right. Now let's just do a standing quad stretch. So if you need a little bit of balance, there's a wall or a counter, that's fine. And we're just going to balance on one foot, take the other foot into our hand, really pull that heel up to our butt as close as we can until you feel that stretch along the top of the quad. And really hold here, just pulling that foot into your butt as far as it'll go. All right, and then let that come down, switch over to the other side. So I scoop myself around so you can see a little more easily. Oh yeah, nice big breaths. Each time you exhale, try and pull that heel in a little bit closer, okay? And just really enjoy that stretch. All right, my friends, I think that's good. I think that was a good little, generally I don't feel the need to do as big of a stretching sequence after our strength training, but it's nice to get a little bit in there. It's a good habit to be in, to do some sort of stretching or foam rolling or pin and stretch with the lacrosse ball, just taking care of our muscles. When our muscles are warmer, that's when we can really do some work to improve and increase our flexibility, which is really nice. So I hope that you're always able to stick around for the stretching sequences. I try to do them after each class. And I hope that you see the benefits as time goes on. All right. Yay! Thank you all so much for being here. We've got one more class this week, obviously. Weekend kickoff tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. And then that'll be it until the cycle begins again next week, Tuesday, with Perpetual Motion. Yeah. So wonderful to have you all here. The usual spiel, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Facebook and Insta at Blanche Case Fitness. Twitter at Blanche C Fitness. If you enjoyed class and feel financially able to send me a donation, I do have a Ko-Fi account at Blanche Case Fitness. Donations are always appreciated, but never required. And if you like taking class here, want to do more, have friends that you think would enjoy this, consider following the channel. We're building up. We're over halfway through the metrics that I need to hit to get to Twitch affiliate, which would be really cool. And just, the more followers, the greater the community, the more content I'm going to be able to put out. And I've got a lot of really cool ideas. So thank you all for being here. And I'll see some of you tomorrow morning. Mwah. Have a great night.